Yeah, I don't think that would have worked as well for
No,
you.
it did, and that's the one thing I could say about us. We have never been embraced by the music industry completely. We've definitely not been embraced by the critics, but we've never cared. We went out and played music for ourselves and the fans that like what we do, and that's all you can do in your career, because you start chasing, looking for approval from everybody, you're going to fail.
I agree.
You start chasing and going, what do I got to do to, you got to just, you got to feel it and hear, write what you love and be able to make music.
With all the writing that you and the band has done collectively, what are some of the major differences that you can see from the songwriting back in the 80s and 90s into today?
You know what, I think every time we went in to do a record, our band never sat down and figured out a formula. That's there's no way to put this except when you say the word spontaneous and just what happens. Poison truly would go in there. Sometimes we would come in and one of us would have a driven idea. I'd come in and say, this is I Won't Forget You, or, when I was writing Every Rose, I sped up this part and here's Fallen Angel. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like,
Absolutely.
I'd be like, do-dan and here's a thought. We're one of those bands that sometimes it was the drum beat, like Unskinny Bop was a drum beat and the bass. And I was like, and CC'd come up with this riff. And it would come together like that, and then I would always go back and take the lyrics and write and sit down and sometimes, like Every Rose Has Its Thorn, I would write the song almost entirely by myself, but then I would bring it to the band and we split with Poison. We split everything 4 ways. It didn't matter. We all put it in the pot and put it in the kitty, and for whatever reason, rather than try to dissect who did what, where, and how, let's just make it a hit. Let's go in there and write a song that we like. And I think the one great thing about our music from 86 all the way up to 2011 is I think our music, we kept to our core, but as musicians always kept growing and changing things and trying new things. You look at Unskinny Bop is nothing like Something to Believe In. No. You look at Talk Dirty to Me, sounds nothing like Every Rose Has Its Thorn, but it grew. You know what I mean?
Okay. And so it sounds like you mainly did the riffs first, you got the beats down, and then you went back.
And it really depended on the song. Like Something to Believe In, I wrote that. I was really depressed when my good friend Chemo died, and I wrote that in acoustic and just sat in my room and played that song, Every Rose or I Won't Forget You. And then when you're talking about more your upbeat stuff like Nothing But a Good Time, you go in and you're like, I took this ridiculous song I'd written years and years and years ago when I was a kid called Rock and Roll Bandit. All right, how ridiculous is that? And I was like, but listen to this riff, bow, bow, nano, nano. And all of a sudden the band would hear that and they're like, Cece's like, wait, hold on, what if we played it up here and played the A way up high on the neck of the guitar, and just different things, but it makes it, that's what made our band groove. We didn't all, like I said, 4 completely different personalities for Poison, but made us groove. When it hit, it was great.
Well, I think that's what makes you the artist that you
Absolutely.
are. You're not just a musician, you are artist.
An artist, absolutely.
I agree. Switching gears a little bit,
Sure.
I'm personally a recovering addict. I just celebrated 15 years.
Congratulations,
being clean. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. But I think that you've seen a lot being on the road.
Absolutely.
A lot of personal experiences.
Yep.
And sometimes I go back and I look at my life and I say, I wonder if I would have turned out the same way.
Right.
Would things have been different for me if I had taken different roads, different paths?
Absolutely.
If I'd made better choices, would I be
Sure.
as successful? Would I be as happy?
Right.
Do you ever look back at that at all?
You know what? Here's my thing. I got to be quite honest. I live my life, and I don't ever want to say I live it in the minute. I live my life in the day that I'm in. I've decided that since I've been a kid, I've been a diabetic, and my thing was to always look at that day and look forward. And there is no doubt. There's no doubt. There's times here's what I wonder. I never look back and regret. What I do is I look back and wonder, what would have happened if I didn't have the brain hemorrhage? What would have happened if I didn't do Celebrity Apprentice? What happened if Rock of Love did this? And then you go back, but I'm not a guy. I found that for me, second and third guessing stuff and what could have been leads to failure. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you go back and keep second guessing everything and you're like, what if I could do this or that, or what if I'd have done this better? Here's the problem. You did it, you've done it, you're here. And so there's no doubt you can reflect late at night, but it's not going to fix what happened. But yes, no doubt you could go back and think about a lot of stuff, but I choose to say I'm knocking on wood that I'm alive. I survived the brain hemorrhage, the heart, all the crazy stuff I've been through, car wrecks and Bobby and me on stage knocking each other out, and CC me fist fighting at the MTV Awards, and Bobby and me in Atlanta knocking each other around on stage, and we've been through all that stuff, and I'm just happy to be here. And no doubt, there's a lot of options we probably could have done different, but I'm a guy that kind of tries to keep looking forward.
Well, obviously it's working for you.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I can't say that works for everyone's got to pick and choose what's right for them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, speaking of that, with all of the dating that you've done being on the road, I have to know from a lady's side.
Please.
Christy's a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
That comes
Great
out.
soul.
I mean, I've never been fortunate enough to meet her, but just it's conveyed in the camera, watching your show, and I'm just curious, what made her the one?
Well, you know what? You look at someone as the person that they are, where they come from, how you click, and you look at them as a soul. You look at them as a human being, and that's really what makes you click. There's chemistry in life. There's chemistry, and sometimes you got it, or you think you got it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's physical. Sometimes it's emotional. But you've got to, when you look back at everything, there's got to be a chemistry there, and it's really as simple as that. You can think of everything, but you got to have a chemistry and a connection that goes on beyond the physical or just the emotional. You know what I mean? You have to have all of that.
Absolutely. Well, my husband and I actually just celebrated our 15 years together. You've been with Christy over 17 years now, it looks like.
Long time.
I got to ask, can you believe that Gene Simmons actually beat you down the aisle? Would you ever have imagined that?
This could be, again, I say this, I may be the longest engagement in the history of man. You'll be like, is he still engaged? What happened? But yes, I'm not. First of all, congratulations to both. Congratulations to both of you. And but yes, moving on by that. Let's go to the next question.
Absolutely.
I'm sweating. You're supposed to help me here.
He knows better after 15 years.
I
it's
knew.
Not happening.
He's like,
I've learned I'd rather be happy than right.
Thank you. It's better to be happy than right.